රිවයින් කරන්න පුළුවන් නිසා මුකුත් මගේ වෙන්නේ.
BOTV TV බලන හොඳම විදිහ.
Making headlines on First at 9. Reviving rural Sri Lanka. President Maithripala Sirisena assures that the government will take a number of significant decisions soon to develop the cooperative sector. Strengthening diplomatic ties. Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe leaves for Singapore to attend several summits, including the 6th World Cities Summit. The Vijay Kala saga. Police spokesperson SP Ruwagunasekara says that investigations are underway following complaints against MP Vijay Kala Maheshwaran. Politicians and academics have different views over the MP's statement.
One should not adventure in this manner, which destroys society, which destroys the confidence of the people.
I see her acting as a politician.
If the politicians continue to speak the language of terrorism, the future of this country is uncertain.
Boosting the economy. Russia says the World Cup has created over 220,000 jobs and uplifted its economy. Mission Rescue. An operation underway to rescue 12 boys and their football coach from a cave in Thailand. 4 boys already out on the surface.
Other Derana First at 9. Sponsored by
Nestamol Plus. Now with the goodness of oats.
From Nestle.
A very good evening to you and welcome to First at 9. I'm Katrina Chang. Now on to your top story tonight. President Maithripala Sirisena says that a significant number of decisions will be taken towards the progress of the cooperative sector in the next few months. The head of state made this remark addressing a ceremony held in Batticaloa yesterday.
The 96th International Cooperative Day celebration was held at the Weber Stadium in Batticaloa yesterday. The event was held under the auspices of President Maithripala Sirisena. The commemorative plaque and a book prepared in line with the International Cooperative Day were presented to the President. Awards were also given to the winners of competitions held between intercooperative unions.
අපේ රටේ සමුපකාර ව්‍යාපාරයේ සම්බන්ධයෙන් තිබෙන දීර්ඝකාලීන අත්දැකීම් සමග මේ රටේ සමුපකාර ව්‍යාපාරයට කාගෙත් තිබෙන්නේ ඉමහත් වූ ගෞරවයක් සහ ආදරයක්. සමුපකාර ව්‍යාපාරයේ තිබෙනා වූ ගැටලු සහ ප්‍රශ්න විසඳා ගැනීමට ජාතික සමුපකාර මණ්ඩලය අමාත්‍යාංශය එක්ක මීට වඩා ක්‍රියාශීලී වැඩපිළිවෙලකට අවතීර්ණ වී යුතුයි කියා මා කාරුණිකව ඉල්ලා සිටිනවා. මම ලබන මාසයේ ආරාධනා කරනවා ජාතික ආර්ථික සභාවට විශේෂයෙන් මා සමග එක්වන්නයි කියලා අමාත්‍යාංශයටත් ජාතික සමුපකාර මණ්ඩලයටත්. මම බලාපොරොත්තු වෙනවා එහිදී ඔබේ ප්‍රශ්න සාකච්ඡා කරන්න. මුදල් අමාත්‍යාංශය සහ අනිකුත් ආයතන සියල්ල කැඳවලා ඔබේ ප්‍රශ්නේදී සාකච්ඡා කරන්න අපිට පුළුවන්. ඒ නිසා ඉදිරි මාස 2-3ක් වගේ කාලයක් තුල සමුපකාර ක්ෂේත්‍රයේ ප්‍රගතිය සඳහා ඉතාමත් වැදගත් තීන්දුව తీරන රාශියක් ඔබේ යෝජනා අනුව ක්‍රියාත්මක කිරීමට මම බලාපොරොත්තු වන බව මෙහිදී ප්‍රකාශ කරනවා.
Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe departed to Singapore this morning to attend several summits, including the 6th World Cities Summit. The World Cities Summit will be held tomorrow under the theme Livable and Sustainable Cities, embracing the future through innovation and collaboration, where Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe is due to deliver the keynote address. The Prime Minister is expected to meet the Prime Minister of Singapore, Lee Hsien Loong, and hold discussions with several high-ranking dignitaries during his visit. A boat which capsized at the Eggaloya in the area of Derana in Ampara this morning has claimed the lives of 3 individuals while 1 remains missing. The deceased were a part of a 45-member group representing the Welfare Society of Sirisivali Vidyalaya in Badulla, who went for rowing in the Eggaloya in Ampara.
A 45-member group of the Welfare Society of the Sirisivali Vidyalaya in Badulla had engaged in rowing in the Eggaloya in the area of Derana in Ampara. The boat they travelled has capsized after a wooden stick they used as a substitute for the oar unexpectedly got stuck in the mud. Fishermen in the area were able to rescue 5 persons, but their efforts proved futile in finding 4 others, 3 of them whose bodies were found. Search operations were carried out by the intervention of police, navy divers and the area fishermen. Accordingly, 3 bodies of them were found this evening. A 53-year-old principal named B.F. Amarasuriya, a 13-year-old student named Tharuka Vidarshana, and a member of the teaching staff UK Chandima aged 43 are among the deceased. The watchman of the school, 31-year-old R.M. Vipula Bandara, still remain missing. Bad weather conditions have forced to halt search operations temporarily.
Police spokesperson S.P. Ruwangunasekara today revealed that further investigations are currently underway following complaints made against former State Minister Vijay Maheshwaran. Meanwhile, various other views was expressed regarding the controversial statement.
ඒක අපි ඔක්කොම හෙලා දකින්නවානේ. නමුත් ඒක කිව්වට පස්සේ මම තව දෙයක් කියන්න ඕනේ. අද යාපන අර්ධද්වීපයේ කුඩු මත්ද්‍රව්‍ය දුරාචාරය ගාක් ව්‍යාප්ත වෙලා තියෙනවා. ඉතින් ලොකු ඉල්ලීමක් තියෙනවා දැන් තියෙන ආරක්ෂක සේවාවන් මීට වඩා ප්‍රතිඵලදායක විදිහට කටයුතු කරන්න ඕනයි.
අපි අහනවා එයා එක්සත් ජාතික පක්ෂයේ සමාජිකයෙක් නම් එයාගේ නායක රනිල් වික්‍රමසිංහ මහත්තයාද ඒ නැත්නම් ප්‍රභාකරන්ද කියලා. එයා ප්‍රභාකරන් නම් එයා මේ පාර්ලිමේන්තුවේ වෙන්න වටින්නේ නැහැ. එයා මේ එක්සත් ජාතික පක්ෂයේ සමාජිකයෙක් වෙන්න වටින්නේ නැහැ.
ඥානසාර හාමුදුරු හෝමාගම අධිකරණය ඇතුලේ ආතතියෙන් හරි එහෙම නැත්නම් ආවේගශීලීව හැසිරුණා නම් හරි අද උන්වහන්සේට එරෙහිව නීති ක්‍රියාත්මක කරලා තියෙනවා. විජය කලා මහේශ්වරන් മന്ത്രിතුමිය සම්බන්ධයෙන් ඒ ආකාරයටම කටයුතු කළ යුතුව තියෙනවා.
ඇමතිවරයට වහාම ඉල්ලාස් වෙන්න නොකියුවොත් පාර්ලිමේන්තුව ගෙනියන්න ඉඩ වෙන්නේ නැහැ ඊළඟ කාල සීමාව ඇතුළත.
She is supporting a return of the LTT. It is very surprising that the United National Party has produced a Politico who could take this view. We, the joint opposition, condemn this statement. This is totally, we feel, flouting the constitution and its oath of allegiance to the unitary state. It is also promoting terrorism. It is promoting further breakdown of the law and order situation in the country. Vijay Kala is trying to gain much propaganda and support, sympathy for her political future. But one should not adventure in this manner, which destroys society, which destroys the confidence of the people. The United National Party and the government should take the correct action and bring about the normalcy that is expected in the north as well as in parliament as well as among the representatives of the people.
I have been to the north and east several times. Every occasion that I have gone, I have never heard people talk about a return to Elam. Then why does Vijay Kala spoken this way? Those people, the people of the north and east, have problems. There is lawlessness. The police there is unable to deal with the situation, not because they are incompetent themselves, but because most of the police there is Sinhala. They don't speak Tamil. So it's very hard for the police to find out the criminal activities that are taking place. Those criminal activities are taking place from within the Tamil society itself. And the Tamil people feel that the government that should look after them is not looking after them. Then Vijay Kala uses that to try and gain popularity with the people. I see her acting as a politician.
What Vijay Kala Maheshwari tells us is clear that in the northern peninsula there is no real development. People are unemployed. The youth are protesting. The youth are addicted to drugs. She is a politician. She uses political slogans to address people. She knows the sentiments about the people in Jaffna. But we need is unity, reconciliation and real development. All these aspects have not been addressed by this current government. The politicians in Jaffna as well as politicians in the south should understand that the people have suffered enough. They don't need to go back to an era of terrorism. They don't need to restore Hitler's Prabhakarans. If the politicians continue to speak the language of terrorism, the future of this country is uncertain.
පැමිණිලි කීපයක් ඉදිරිපත් වුණා. ඒ ඉදිරිපත් වුණු පැමිණිලි සම්බන්ධයෙන් කොළඹ ප්‍රධාන මහේස්ත්‍රාත් අධිකරණයට කරුණු වාර්තා කරලා තියෙනවා. ඒ විමර්ශනයේ ඉදිරි පියවරවල් ගන්නවා.
The Police Narcotic Bureau seized 104 kilograms of heroin valued at 1,248 million rupees in the areas of Kalubovil and Battaramulla. 2 individuals involved in the drug racket have been apprehended. The Police Narcotics Bureau found 30 parcels of heroin inside a jeep near Pratimbarama Mawatha in Kalubovila last night. 2 individuals were apprehended on the spot, and following preliminary investigations, the police was able to seize another 66 parcels of heroin at a house in Battaramulla. These parcels contain 103 kilogram and 950 grams of heroin, which value at 1,248 million rupees. PNB is currently conducting further investigations on the matter. Meanwhile, the anti-corruption unit in Tangol arrested an individual who was in possession of 50 milligrams of heroin in Polommarava in Tangol today. In Pittigala, an individual was found in possession of 1,870 milligrams of Kerala ganja. 2 individuals who was with the suspect at the time was also in possession of hallucinogenic drugs. Minister of Science, Technology and Research Dr. Sarath Amanugama pledges to do anything in his capacity to promote science and research in Jaffna. He added that it will be an opportunity for him to pay homage to the great scientists in the world and in Jaffna. The minister made these comments at an event held in the University of Jaffna recently.
Jaffna is very famous for the scientists it has produced. They have been world famous. Now science is something that unites everybody. Every new young lecturer, every new student who comes and presents his findings are adding to that growing body of knowledge. So we have to thank them and recognize their talents. Science is something very important. It brings people together. What are the problems of growing science for humanity? Can you control everything like that? But on the other hand, there are a lot of other very important things like modified seed, modified agriculture, so that we can increase our productivity. Place like Jaffna, that is very important because you have limited space, you want to increase the yield. I'm very glad because Jaffna has a very, very good record of good researchers. I want to do my very best for Jaffna science. Whatever you want, I'm going to give you. Please don't hesitate. I will authorize all the funds you need to advance science in Jaffna. That is my responsibility and that is my great opportunity to show homage to all those great scientists. Doesn't matter where you are, doesn't matter what language you speak, where you reside, but over and above all that, science tells us that we are all human. Science is the message of humanity. I will do anything to promote you and to promote your science.
Let's now take a look at some other stories making news across Sri Lanka. 4 suspects were taken into custody by police in connection to the murder of Sujiva Prasanna Kumara Hettiarachchi, a father of 3 and a resident of Vanyakulam in Anuradhapura. Police Mira spokesperson S.P. Rohan Gunasekara said that among the arrested was the main suspect Chaminda Pushpakumara, alias Pullayar Chaminda. On the 5th of this month, 45-year-old Sujiva Hettiarachchi from Vanyakulam was stabbed to death owing to a family dispute. The 3rd seminar for the Grade 5 Scholarship Examination by Derana Media Network with the Satra Educational Magazine was held today at Hotel Grand Guardian in Ratnapura. The seminar saw the participation of over 100 students. The 4th series of the program will be held on the 15th of this month at Sir John Kothalavala College in Kurunagala. A roof of a tuition class collapsed over 7 students at the top floor of a 4-storied building opposite the Beliatta Police. 7 students who were between 15 and 16 years old were hospitalized following the incident. 1 student was admitted to the Tangol Hospital, while 6 students are currently receiving treatment at the Beliatta District Hospital. The roof had caved in due to rain and strong winds experienced in the area. Wildlife officials rescued an elephant yesterday after it had fallen into an agricultural well at Puthuvil, close to the Lahugala National Park. Following the rescue operation, the elephant was released to the Dharampalava Reserve. Dinakshi and Shanudri were declared the winners of the grand finale of Derana Fair and Lovely Star City 2020, which was held at the National Youth Centre in Maharagama last evening. Artists Ashanti and Randhir were named the first runner-up, while Ramesh and Tikshana were declared second runner-up at the star-studded event.
This is Derana Fair and Lovely Star City 2020 Grand Finale.
Derana Fair and Lovely Star City 2020, a novel concept by TV Derana, commenced Season 4 6 months ago. 40 celebrities who are masters in their craft competed in pairs of 20 in front of a judge panel of eminent personalities in drama, dance and music. The fate of the finalists for the coveted title were left in the hands of a judge panel comprised of renowned actress Malini Fonseca, veteran dancer and choreographer Channa Vijayawardena and veteran musician Chandrika Siriwardena. The finalists who made it into the grand finale last night were singers Ashanti Dialvis and Randhir Vitana, dancing duo Dinakshi Priyasad and Shanudri Priyasad, as well as singers Romesh Sugatapala and Tikshana Anuradha. The grand finale of Derana Fair and Lovely Star City 2020 was a star-studded affair and not short of entertainment for the night at the National Youth Centre in Maharagama. The final teams competed head-to-head with the support of their fans cheering them on. The winners were selected based on 40% of the marks obtained by the judge panel and 60% of marks from fan votes. Romesh and Tikshana were declared second runner-up at the Derana Fair and Lovely Star City 2020. Ashanti and Randhir were selected as the first runners-up. Dinakshi and Shanudri were declared the winners of the grand finale of Derana Fair and Lovely Star City 2020.
මෙදෙනාට හිමි කුසලානය ලබා දීමට ඇරයුම් කරන්නේ දෙරණ උපසභාපති ලක්සිරි වික්‍රමගේ මහතාටයි. Derana Fair and Lovely 2020 grand finale!
It's Derana Fair and Lovely Star City 2020.
You are watching Sri Lanka's award-winning news channel, Other Derana 24/7.
Speaker of Parliament Karu Jayasuriya says that state enterprises should follow global practices in financing in order to promote transparency between the government and the public. The Speaker expressed these views at an event held in Colombo recently.
EMA Excellence in Integrated Reporting Awards 2018 was held under the auspices of Speaker of Parliament Karu Jayasuriya in Colombo recently. The award ceremony was held under the theme Integrated Reporting, the Future of Corporate Reporting. 30 awards and certificates were presented to the overall winners, first and second runner-up, 10 Excellence in Integrated Reporting Awards, Sector Awards, Merit Awards, Special Awards and Certificates of Merit.
The huge losses incurred by the state institution exceeding over ₹50 billion justify the need for a large number of CMA Sri Lanka qualified management accountants to play a major role in properly managing the cost and finances of state corporation and government ministries where the large amounts are allocated by the government budget. Cost and control should be uppermost in the minds of all state and government sector employees. It is very essential that state enterprises follow good global practices, and the public would like to know how they are managing the enterprises and the value created by the sums of public funds and the value citizens get in return. The non-submission of annual reports on a timely basis is another big row back in the state institution. But here I must tell you very happily that the situation is fast improved and we were able to clear more than 85 to 90% of the accounts. And then therefore today the position is that about 90% of the public accounts are submitted in time to the Parliament. It's a great achievement. We have said that if the accounts can't come on time, the finance director or the finance manager should not be in that seat.
The Asian Development Bank provided a $9.5 million grant through Women Entrepreneurs Finance Initiative, also known as WeFi, to support ongoing small and medium enterprises in Sri Lanka. The grant agreement was penned by the Secretary of the Ministry of Finance and Mass Media, Dr. R.H.S. Samarutunga, and Country Director of ADB Sri Lanka Resident Mission, Sri Vidovati, at the Ministry of Finance and Mass Media recently. The grant comes as a part of a $12.5518 million grant from the Women Entrepreneurs Finance Initiative. The $9.5 million grant will be provided to women entrepreneurs on grant basis through participating financial institutions, while the latter amount of the grant will be used for technical assistance and administrative costs. OPEC Fund for International Development signed an agreement with the Sri Lankan government to fund for the development of the country's education sector. With the government's recently introduced a 13-year mandatory education policy, the Ministry of Education drafted a project to construct technical laboratories and provide required machinery and equipment to schools which come under the project. The project is valued at over $60 million, out of which OFID agreed to provide a loan of $50 million. The balance $10.70 million will be borne by the government. The agreement was signed last Tuesday at the headquarters of OFID in Vienna, in Austria, by Secretary of the Ministry of Finance, Dr. R.H.S. Samarutunga, on behalf of the government, and Director General of OFID, Suleiman J. Al-Habish, on behalf of the OPEC Fund for International Development. As we come closer to the finals of the 2018 World Cup, one thing is for certain. With football fans coming in from all over the world, remarkable dividends have been injected to the Russian economy. According to official data, the activities of the Moscow public catering industry doubled the first week into the World Cup and has created over around 220,000 jobs. The Kuznetsky Most Street, a commercial street in Moscow, is drenched in a rich atmosphere of the World Cup, and even the usually very quiet cafeteria has put up a big screen to show matches and shape chocolate cakes like footballs.
Ну, наверное, в 2 раза повысилось. В основном идут одни иностранцы, то бишь со всех стран, со всей планеты. Ну, весь мир здесь. Это очень круто.
It is predicted that the World Cup could have a total impact on the Russian economy of nearly $31 billion. A new report on the economic impact of the tournament said the boost for the country's GDP could amount to between $26 billion and $30.8 billion over the 10 years from 2013 through to 2023. That is attributed to growing tourism plus large-scale spending on construction plus later knock-on effects from the government investments. However, according to the Moody's Investor Service, the economic benefit will only be short-lived, while the additional revenue from higher transactions from the influx of tourists will unlikely exceed 1% of the total sector's profit this year. Market analysts expect some market volatility in turnover levels over the course of the week, as most retail investors are likely to be on the sidelines. During the week, the all-share price index lost 1.39%, while the average daily turnover for the week was down from last week to 570 million rupees. Let's now cross over to Dimantha Matthew from First Capital Holdings with your weekly forecast for the upcoming week.
The global emerging market sell-off, we expect foreign outflows to continue, though on a much smaller scale. We expect some local funds to show renewed interest with the valuations being pretty strong. We expect market to be on a volatile note during the week with turnover levels, as most of the retail investors are likely to be on the sidelines. Some high net worth buying interest is also likely to come back into the market, with selected counters showing heavy declines.
You are watching Sri Lanka's premier news channel, Other Derana 24/7.
Well, we're hearing some very good news from Thailand today, as rescuers say at least 4 boys who were trapped in a cave complex for 2 weeks have been brought up above ground. Local media, however, say that 6 boys have been freed by the rescue mission. We will be able to hear more in another few hours, but for the moment, the dangerous rescue mission, which began this morning, has temporarily been halted.
12 schoolboys and their soccer coach were stranded on a ledge 4 kilometers inside the Tham Luang cave in Thailand. But amid fears of rising waters, officials decided today to not wait any longer. Officials called it D-Day, saying the boys were fit and ready to move. The death of a former Thai Navy SEAL who was working in the flooded cave shook the officials and rescuers a few days ago. But when the rescue mission commenced today, 90 elite divers, including 40 foreign divers, joined in to bring all the boys through narrow, submerged passageways that claimed the life of their former colleague. With the rainy season just beginning, it became clear that the flooding which originally trapped the boys will only get worse in the coming days. Rescuers are desperately pumping water out of the cave. The mission has now been paused for 10 hours as oxygen levels in the cave have been depleted. Getting in and from where the boys has been an exhausting 11-hour round trip even for the experienced divers. They'll have to do a mixture of walking, wading, climbing and diving, all in complete darkness, along guide ropes already in place. Wearing full face masks which are easier for novice divers than traditional respirators, each boy will be accompanied by 2 divers who will also carry their air supply. The boys aged between 11 and 16 went missing with their 25-year-old coach after soccer practices on 23rd of June, setting out to explore the cave complex. Against all odds, however, they were found earlier last week and being kept company by Navy divers at all times and had food, light and medical care sent in. Those who have been rescued so far were taken straight to hospital in Chiang Rai town.
Meanwhile, in Japan, 69 have died and dozens missing from deadly floods and landslides in western parts of the country. 2 million people have been ordered to evacuate their homes to safe locations.
Since last Thursday, parts of western Japan have received 3 times the usual rainfall for the whole of July, setting off floods and landslides. Officials warned that public in the affected areas are facing unprecedented danger as more downpours are expected. The record rainfall caused rivers to burst their banks in Hiroshima and other areas. Prime Minister Shinzo Abe said today that rescuers were working against time and that there are still many people missing and others in need of help. Although rain had stopped and flood waters receded in some areas, landslide warnings were issued in more than a quarter of the nation's prefectures. A very good evening to our viewers and welcome to Forecast First. Starting off with your temperatures for tomorrow, they are to vary between 20 and 34 degrees Celsius with the highest of 34 expected in Batticaloa. Well, when looking at the map, a low pressure zone will develop in the western province and will gradually disappear. Many parts of the island will experience sunny weather including Jaffna, Manna, Anuradhapura and Trincomalee. The areas of Kandy, Colombo, Galle and Matara as well as Hambantota will however experience showers. That's all from the Weather Centre tonight. Up next is your city by city forecast.
And before we go tonight, we'd like to take you on a breathtaking train journey to Switzerland. This is the famous Brains-Rothorn Railway, which climbs from the village of Brains to the summit of the Brains-Rothorn. We hope you enjoy these visuals and have a pleasant evening.
Bringing you the news and information 24 hours a day. This is Sri Lanka's premier news channel, Other Derana 24/7.